Hi and welcome back to another Tech Minds video. So in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Retevis R27 license-free radios. Now I've received these from Retevis as a pair, but you can buy them individually if you prefer. So first off, on the left hand side we see the PTT button and a further two orange buttons. The top orange button allows you to turn the scan feature on or off, and the lower orange button is the monitor button. Now while holding this button in, the squelch is opened and any pre-programmed DCS or CTCSS is disabled. Now as we move to the other side of the radio, we have a splash-proof cover which allows access to a Kenwood style speaker mic socket. These sockets also double up as the programming port when you use an appropriate programming cable. Now on the rear we have the removable belt clip and the battery. The battery is also removable so it can be charged independently of being in the radio. Now this is quite useful if you have more than one battery for each radio. You also get a lanyard with the radio which you can loop through your wrist to save dropping the radio while in use. Now the charger that comes with the radio is a desktop cradle style which can be powered via USB. There are no other charging options, so you could either plug the charger into a computer or even something like a mobile phone charger. Now the charger has an LED indication which when glowing red indicates that the battery is charging, and when green the charging is complete. In my experience it didn't take too long. As mentioned before, you can charge the batteries independently of the radio, so you can drop a spare battery into the charging dock like so. Now, the top of the radio has two rotary controls and the antenna. The antenna itself is not removable, and this is required to make this radio legal for use in the UK on the UK PMR bands. The radio has two rotary knobs, and one of the rotary knobs is the on-off and volume control, and the other knob is a 16-step rotary control to change the channel. And when you power on the radio, you'll get a voice announcement which will tell you which channel you're on, and when you change to a different channel, the channel number is also read out from the radio. This may be useful if you're using this radio in the dark, but you can also turn this feature off in the software. And one of the cool features of this radio is the voice scrambler, which when enabled, other users are not able to understand what you're saying. Now this is what the scrambler sounds like if enabled on a transmitting radio, but not on the receiving radio. Of course, to use this feature, you would need to enable this on both radios. I will point out that the voice quality does drop slightly when using the scrambler, but you can still easily understand what's being said. Now on the front of the radio, you'll find a microphone hole just under the speaker. And on testing, we found the microphone to be very good with just about enough sensitivity. You'll see this later in the video. Now when you purchase this radio, it will come pre-programmed for the legal frequencies in your country. So for the UK, it's PMR. In the US, it's FRS. But if you want to change any of these settings, you can use the software. Now my radios did not come with a programming cable, but these can be found cheaply on Amazon or eBay. Now to program the radio, you'll need to turn the radio off, plug in the programming cable to the radio and your computer, and then turn on the radio. Your computer will now be able to communicate with the radio via a serial port. Pop into your Windows device manager to see which COM port Windows has assigned to the radio. So let's just take a brief moment to look at the specifications. Now these specifications, i.e. the frequency there at the top, you can see it says PMR 446, so it's going to be showing the PMR 446 frequency range which is used in the UK. But like I mentioned before, this can be changed in software, or if you're purchasing it in another country, you get the license-free range of frequencies pre-programmed. So here it shows that we've got 16 channels. We have a channel spacing of 12.5 kHz, has an operational voltage of 3.7 volts, which comes from the 1100 mAh lithium-ion battery. The dimensions are 105 by 59 by 34, that's obviously without the antenna, and it only weighs 185 grams. Now the power output is fixed to 0.5 watts, so 500 milliwatts, which is the legal limit for PMR 446. Looking at other specifications, it does actually have the option for 2 watts, which can be changed in software. The RT27 also has a Vox function, which is great if you want to use it hands-free. You also have 50 CTCSS tones, 105 DCS tones, and you can also DCS encrypt your calls to stop other people scanning for the DCS frequency that you're using. That's a pretty cool feature and not normally seen on these type of radios. It has automatic squelch, it has the monitor button so you can drop the squelch, has a scan feature so it will scan through all of the channels automatically, and you also have a local alarm. As mentioned before, you've got the speaker mic jack on the right hand side. This is the standard Kenwood style, which you can use many accessories with. One of the most popular would either be like a little small earpiece and microphone or a speaker mic. So let's take these out in the field and give them a try. I'm going to be doing this with one of my friends, Glenn, and this is something that I don't normally do on my videos, so I hope you enjoy it.
Glenn, do you copy?
Yeah, copy, Matt, over.
Yeah, how's it sounding? How's the audio sounding on here?
Yeah, crystal clear, mate. How are things your end? Yeah, sounds pretty nice. Let's try another channel. Let's go try channel 2. 2.
Yo, Glenn, can you hear me? Over.
Yeah, crystal clear coming through on channel 2. How am I? Over. Yeah, it sounds really nice. I really like the size of these radios as well. How far away are you talking from the radio itself? Well, just kind of your standard 8 to 10. Do you want to switch it up a couple and see how we're doing on number 4, maybe? Over.
Yeah, okay. Let's try channel 4.
3, 4. Glenn, do you copy? Over.
Yeah, crystal clear, mate. Just as good as 2.
Yeah, it sounds exactly the same. Right, let's try going to the top channel. I think it's channel 16. So let's try that. 3, 2, 1, 6, 11, 16. Okay, this is channel 16. Glenn, are you there? Over.
Yeah, still here on 16, mate. I'm following
You all the way, crystal clear. Over.
Yep, sounds absolutely lovely.
Okay, mate, I'll meet you back down at the bottom of the mountain. Take care. See you soon. 7-3. Over.
Shit, let's go for a wander. Over.
So the software for the RT27 is a free download from the Retevis website, and in order to start using it, you'll need to know the connected COM port, as mentioned earlier. Now, after locating the COM port using Windows Device Manager, we are then ready to start using the software. As you can see here, mine is set to COM port 8. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is do a read from the radio. This will bring back all the pre-programmed channels back to the software, which you can then edit. Now, this screen is quite self-explanatory, and it's similar to editing a spreadsheet. We have the channel numbers listed down the left column, and then the parameters for each channel going across the row. What is interesting here is that the receive and transmit frequency can be set differently, and to test this, I programmed in a local repeater on 433 MHz with a transmit frequency of 434 MHz. Now, after setting the correct CTCSS, I was able to talk through my local 70cm ham radio repeater. Now, I'm not entirely sure the exact frequency range of this radio, but I can definitely confirm that it works on the 70cm ham band. Now, this is very useful if you're a licensed ham radio operator or just want to listen to some local ham radio traffic. You'll also notice from the settings that you can configure the CTCSS and the DCS encoding for receive and transmit. You can also toggle between high and low power, which I believe is 500 milliwatts for low power and 2 watts for high power. Now, as the antenna is fixed to this radio, I had no way of connecting it to a power meter to double check this. Now, as we go along the settings, we can see an option for busy inhibit. Now, this is extremely useful if you want to set the radios up so that only one person can talk at a time. Now, if enabled, the radio will not transmit until the channel is clear. We also have the DCS encrypt feature, which we do not normally see on these types of radios, but this allows for a DCS frequency to be set, but will inhibit others being able to scan through the DCS codes to find the DCS that you're using. Now, the last option on the end is scramble, which has a few variations. Now, as you heard earlier, when enabled, it's pretty impossible to understand what is being said. Now, overall, the RT27 appears to be a well-built radio with features you would not normally find on license-free radios. Now, if you're going to change any of the settings via software, please make sure you're responsible and do not go outside of the radio laws in your country. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video and this brief overview of the Retevis RT27. I'd just like to thank all my current patrons. Until the next video, stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, not much more really. Yeah, the sun is shining here too, considering that you're only probably around half a mile away from me.
Half a mile? Well, pretty clear for half a mile.
I actually just thought, the way I've got my camera, I can probably see you.